Hello and welcome to another YouTube video from Norway. As you can see, I finished something. We'll talk about that in a minute. I've done a lot of crochet this week as well, and I've made some progress on my new knitting project. So it's not all about crochet this week. We did talk about knitting a bit last week as well, but I made a few decisions about the knitting project I'm working on and made some more progress. Been to a yarn shop, and there's a new magazine out. So we'll chat about that as well. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you're new here, my name is Anniken. I design knitting and crochet patterns, and I teach knitting and crochet workshops online and in person, and I sell yarn through our website YarnAddict.co.uk. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed yet, please consider subscribing. My website is closed. I'm going to try and remember to open it on the 7th of September. I'm coming home on the 8th, so I won't be able to post anything to the 9th, but I'll try and open it on the 7th. I do have quite a lot of stuff still in the reduced section on my website, so set your alarm for the 7th or 8th if you are interested in that. There's still some Mono Uruguay, Legria, Fino, Marina, Losa Shopple, Sound Ball yarns, Lace Ball, all that kind of stuff, and some Symphony, Viva, and Terra. Viva is a DK, Terra is the 4-ply. It is my birthday month this month, so I've been doing an offer every week for one of my online courses. Last week it was Continental Knitting, and that offer is actually valid through to the end of the month. My birthday was actually earlier this week, so I'm now 57 years young. And to celebrate, you can get 15% off the first online course I ever created, and one of my most popular ones, probably the most popular one. That might be because it was the first one I created. I don't know. It's been updated a couple of times since. And it is my online continental knitting course. So I'll teach you how to knit with the yarn in your left hand like I do, how to do Norwegian purl and continental purl, how to do simple lace and cables and things like that, continental style. And there's like a troubleshooting lesson as well. It's self-guided. You can start whenever you want. You keep indefinite access, but I'm there to help you along the way and answer any questions. So I'll put the discount code on the screen, 15% off till the end of the month. All the details are in the description box below. Any questions, just message me. So we'll talk about this first so I can take it off because it's quite warm. We're having a bit of a mini heat wave here. Most of the time I've been here for 2 weeks and 3 days now, and most of the time it's been quiet. Slightly cooler. It's been around sort of 20 degrees during the day, in the afternoon. Much cooler at night now, but it's been sort of high teens, about 20 in the warmest part of the afternoon. But the last few days it's been like 25, 26 degrees. It's supposed to cool down a bit, I think, after today, but it has been quite warm in the last few days. I don't mind mid-20s temperatures. Anything higher than that, it's just too warm. And my parents' apartment is very hot because the sun's basically on this side of the building all day. The moment it's over that side where the bedrooms are, and then it moves around here, and then the evening it's straight from that direction, and it gets very hot out here in the evening. And then suddenly about 9 o'clock when it goes dark, temperatures drop quite quickly. This morning when I got up, it was 10 degrees outside, but it was 15 in here. Okay, so let's talk about what I've been working on. So when I blocked this, I realized it was a little bit short. So I did 2 repeats to the length, and it's not perfect. I'm very happy with the length. It's the same length as most of my t-shirts that I wear, so I'm quite happy with the length at the moment. And then I tried it on couple of days ago. I took some pictures which I shared on social media, on Instagram at least, on Wednesday. I'm filming this on Thursday, and when I looked at the photographs, I wasn't happy with the neckline, so I'll pop a picture up. I should have put the same t-shirt on that I was wearing with that photograph, but I haven't. But it was a little bit lower down, and on one side, I can't remember which side, there was a bit of it looked like a hole. It wasn't, it was just the way the stitch pattern worked out, but I wasn't happy about it. Thinking about it on this side. So last night, prior to bed, I added another round around the neckline, and I think I'm happy with it now. I do have some yarn left. I'm on my final ball of yarn. I bought 500 grams. The yarn I used is Rowan Summer Light 4-ply, and I got this in the sale at Black Sheep Wools when I was there last month. So I'm very happy with this. It was lovely to crochet with. I've knitted with it loads of times, but I've never crocheted with Summer Light before, and I've never used it for myself. I've knitted with both the DK and 4-ply versions for magazines loads and loads of times, but I've not used it for myself before, and I'm very, very happy with it. So let me just stand up so you can see the whole thing, because I've now got enough space to do that. I don't do that at home because I don't have enough space, but I do now, so I'll stand up. Okay, far enough back so you can see it. So I'm quite happy with the length. I'm wearing kind of like quite wide balloon trousers today, or my clown trousers. But yeah, I'm quite happy with it. It's quite roomy. Sleeves are I find length. Maybe they could be a tiny bit longer, but they are quite wide, so I don't like them too long when they're wide. But yeah, I can wear it with my hands in my pockets, which I do if I'm wearing pockets. So yeah, I'm very happy with it. Whether I in the future decide I need another round around neckline, we'll see. I will try it on later this week with a t-shirt that has like a higher neckline and see what it looks like with that. But at the moment I'm happy with it. So I used a filet crochet pattern to create these like zigzag lines, and it shows up really well, and I'm really, really happy with it. I am thinking about whether I should make it again in like a wool 4-ply just to see what that looks like. I don't know. I've done 2 filet crochet sweaters this summer, so maybe not. I'm not going to start any other garment till I get home, because I do have a sample sweater that I started a year ago that I need to finish. So that's my first priority when I get home. Actually, no, my first priority when I get home is to finish a deadline project that's waiting for me. That's like half done, I think. So I'm going to finish that, then finish my sample sweater, and then decide what to do. I do have some yarn here for another sweater that I bought when I was here in June, I think, in sale at a local yarn shop. And I'm thinking I'm coming at the end of October, so I might decide to do something with that when I'm here then. It's a hot pink colour, and I really, really like it. I'm here for nearly 3 weeks in October, November. My daughter is joining me for the last few days, last 6 days or something. Right, I'm just going to take this jumper off because it is quite warm out here. I did mention, I think, that I went to a yarn shop the other day. My mum and I, on Monday, I think it was, went to a town called She, which is about half an hour away, and went to a shopping centre there, and they have a really nice yarn shop called Nestimate. I'll pop the name on the screen. And I popped in and had a look around. I didn't buy anything. I may need yarn for another project. We'll get onto that later. And I do have some plans for what I want to make, but I'm not 100% sure yet. So I want to finish what I'm working on before I buy any more yarn. I also really want to go into Oslo one day. Haven't really had the chance yet. But middle of next week, my dad goes into respite for the last few days I'm here. So I'll have 6 days with him in respite. So obviously I have to go and visit him and things like that. But I am thinking one of those days I'm going to talk to my mum and see if she's happy for me to leave a toot for a day and go to Oslo. She won't be able to go to Oslo. Her mobility isn't good enough. But I'm thinking I really want to go to Oslo one day, because I really want to go to a yarn shop called Strikkefeber, because they've moved to a new location. I've been to their old location. New location looks a lot bigger, and it's closer to the city centre, so I really want to go. And I might pop into a couple of my other favourite yarn shops in Oslo as well. So if I'm going to buy something, I really want to buy it then, I think. I do have some plans for some mittens. So it's a pattern I've had charted out for ages. I was just looking through my folder of things I've charted out and not done anything with, and I found this chart I really, really like. But I've only charted it out in like a small size, and I need to add some stitches for a size that fits my giant hands. But I could just knit the small size, and I thought that'd be perfect because I just need 2 balls of yarn, and it wouldn't take up a ton of space in my hand luggage. So I've got to be a little bit careful. If I buy yarn for a project, it has to be a small project, which is why I'm thinking I'll only buy it if I need another project. So before we talk about the rest of my knitting and crochet, just talk about the last few videos I've done on my YouTube channel. So on Tuesday this week, I did a video about overconsumption and crafting. It was inspired by the kind of people who moan online about the fact that some people have too big a stash. So yarn stash, fabric stash, whatever it is you collect. Some people get very judgmental about it and think it's a sign of all that's wrong with society, overconsumption. I've also seen a lot of people complain about how knitting and crochet is kind of turning into a bit of a fast fashion thing. People feel like they have to finish as many things as possible, and how that's a problem. I think most of the time they're complaining about people like me who do YouTube videos and feel like you always have to have something new to talk about. But also, my job is to design, so I do need to keep making new things. Otherwise, I'm not going to make any money. So there is that. But I talk about that kind of stuff, the whole overconsumption and crafting thing in Tuesday's video. Last week, I think it was, I talked about crafting in public, how people feel about that. Some people don't mind. I don't mind knitting or crocheting in public. I don't mind if people talk to me. Sometimes I want to be left alone, so then I just give very brief answers or say, sorry, I'm listening to something or whatever. It's when you get like snarky, slightly funny comments that aren't really that funny. But some people really hate the attention. So I talked about that in last week's Tuesday video. So do go and check that out if you haven't already. And I've got loads of workshops coming up this autumn. Black sheep wools in September and October. There are still spaces, I think, on my finishing techniques in September, and my Brioche Cowls workshop in October. Talk about that quite a lot. If you have any questions about it, just ask below or send me a message and I'll give you more information. But they're linked below. My other Black Sheep Wools workshops are fully booked. Then I'll be at Yarndale in end of September. My Mitra Square workshops is only about half full, so there's still a few spaces left on that. Fun technique. Relatively easy if you know how to knit and purl. We won't actually be doing any purling, we'll just be knitting and decreasing and casting on and casting off, and we'll be picking up stitches so you can knit one miter square and then knit other squares onto it. I'll talk about changing the size of it and things like that. And I think there are 5 spaces left on that one last time I checked. I thought my Continental Knitting one was sold out. When I looked the other day, it looked like it still has spaces, but possibly just one. I'm not sure that that's sold or not. It's not saying out of stock, but when I click on it, it doesn't come up with the option to add to cart. So I'm not sure. So if you're interested, go and check it out. If you can't work out whether there's a space or not, message me and I'll contact the Yarndale team and ask them. And what else have I got? Oh, I'm teaching at Knit and Stitch shows in Harrogate in November, and London, Alexadra Palace in October. Loads of workshops, knitting and crochet. They're all listed below, so do go and check those out. I do also have a couple of tickets to give away for Knit and Stitch shows. I haven't looked at the details of the email yet, so I'll do that next week, I think. But there is a code below for, I think it's £2 off a day ticket for both shows. That's in the description below as well. Okay, let's get on with my next crochet project and then we'll talk about knitting. So last week I had made these little star flowers. Last week I'd done 22. This week I have done more. I've done 28. So I've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 of these bright pink ones. That's the kind of darkest pink, I think, in this advent calendars. I'm using the Cool Wool Links Yarn Advent from 2024. I know last year went a bit wrong, couldn't do what I've heard. Mine is from 2024, so I keep stressing that because I heard there was a lot of disappointment last year. Anyway, it's the 4-ply sparkly yarn. I've done 10 of those. I did one last week, and then I've done all 11. So each 20 gram mini is enough to do 11. Little star flowers, they need blocking, so those are 11. I need to block them. My mum does have blocking equipment, so I could do while I'm here, but I've decided to wait till I get home in case they need re-blocking when I get home anyway. And I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of these bright neon yellow, so I did 6 last week, and then this morning I managed to do 2 of these, like a little orangey beach colour. My mum had an appointment at the local shopping centre this morning, so I drove her down there because she's she's had a couple of falls recently and she's a bit battered and bruised, and she's a bit worried about lifting her walker into the car in case she can't do it. And I'm worried about the fact that I'm going home in about a week and a half and I won't be able to help her. And the fact that she hasn't driven at all while I've been here. So I suggested that she try to do it on her own. She's gone out just now for her weekly workout at the physio, which I've been trying to kind of make her go to because she very quickly finds excuses to not go. I hope my mum doesn't watch this. If you happen to be watching and you know my mum, don't tell her. Don't tell her, please. She'd probably be annoyed with me. But so I suggested this morning that she drive herself. But she was a bit nervous about it, so I took her down to the shopping centre, but I made her lift her walker in and out of the car. My mum's quite small and she's shrunk a bit as well, and their car's quite high, so it's quite a high, it's probably like waist height for her. Her walker is quite small and light, but it's still quite a lot of lifting when you've got proper. She really needs to work on like practical things, like being able to lift her walker in and out of the car and getting on and off the floor. So that's one of the reasons I made her go today, because I said talk to the physio specifically about exercises you can do for those two things. Because I'm a bit worried that she's going to become housebound if she doesn't improve her mobility quite soon. Anyway, so I had to drop her off to the shopping centre this morning. So while she went for her appointment, I popped into a coffee shop and did 2 of these and had a little bit of a treat. And then my mum joined me and had a treat as well. So coffee shop crochet. I've been mainly doing this project when I'm out and about. I've been sitting down at a coffee shop. So every time I pop down to the local shopping centre, do grocery shopping or run errands, I tend to kind of sneak in there for like 10 to 30 minutes. I can make one of these in like 8 to 10 minutes and do at least 1, sometimes 2. And then I did actually do most of these. I think I've done a few. Yes, I've done a few. I think I've done like 5. And then I did the rest sitting here the other day because I wanted to make some progress. I actually meant to go and get the bag with the rest of the yarns to count how many I've got left. I don't think I'm going to finish them before I get home, which is my goal really. If I don't buy another project, if I finish my knitting project, I will have time to do it. But it also gets a bit boring to just work on that project. Although it'd be really good for traveling home project, for the travel day project, because it's so small. And I can put a crochet hook in the little 20-gram mini ball of yarn. I can easily just pick up a crochet hook and a little ball of yarn and put it in my pocket. When I'm on the way home, I've actually booked an exit row seat, which means that during takeoff and landing, all your bags have to go in the overhead locker. But I will sometimes, I think I did that on the way here because I sat in an extra row seat. I just put a ball of yarn and my crochet hook in my pocket, and you're allowed to have your phone and like a tablet or e-reader or something like that. But you're not allowed to have any loose clothing. So any clothing you have to put on or put in the overhead locker, and you're not allowed to have any bags. They're quite strict on that, obviously, because if there's an emergency, it'll stop people getting out. And I guess takeoff and landing is when it's most likely to be an emergency. Anyway, so I've done 28 of these. So next week, I'm going to try and do 4 more. Originally, I set myself a target of 30, but maybe I'll try and do 32. I won't remember. Actually, I'll write it down. I'm going to check how many colours I got left to go and then work out how many I need to do per day to finish on the day I go home. Anyway, one takes me like 8 to 10 minutes, I guess 10 minutes-ish, 10 to 12 minutes with weaving in the ends, depending on how quickly I go. Let's talk about knitting, because I did cast in for another knitting project last week. So I got this yarn, beautiful yarn. I don't know how well it's showing up on screen, but it is a linen silk blend with sequins from Belinda at the Knitting Hotel. She bought it when she was in India. I think it was like about a year ago. She is half Indian and she goes quite regularly, and she came back with these beautiful skeins. The colours are just amazing. So when I was there last autumn at some point, I asked her if I could buy one, and she kindly gave it to me. It's 80% linen, 20% silk, and because of that, it is slightly splitty. So most yarns that don't, a lot of yarns that don't have wool in them will split a little bit. especially non-animal fibers like cotton, silk, linen, fibers like that can be a bit splitty. Also depends on how the yarn is spun. But it is a little bit splitty, but it doesn't bother me too much as long as I'm careful. But I started this little shawlette scarf thingy. So last week I was there and I hadn't decided what came next, whether I should do a lace pattern, eyelet pattern, elongated cross stitch pattern, and I went with the final option, the elongated cross stitch pattern. Originally I was going to alternate between 4 elongated stitches that cross over each other and 2, but that made the increased ratio and stuff I've used, it made it difficult for that to work out in like a repeatable sequence. So I just went with the 2 cross stitch patterns. I don't know how easy this is to see. Probably better once I've blocked it, but you can see the rows here. You basically got like 2 stitches that cross over each other. I've got a pick. I'll see if I can get a picture that shows it better and pop it up here. May not be able to, but I'm very happy with it so far. It's quite an easy thing. I can just knit on while I'm watching telly or listen to a podcast or something like that. Not too difficult. I'm actually going to move my marker up so I can keep track of how much I'm doing. I have spent a lot of time in the last week finishing this sweater. So I haven't spent as much time on this as I want. Like I worked on it a little bit, I think last night before I went to bed, and a little bit this morning while I was waiting for my mum to leave so I could film this. But I haven't worked on it for the last couple of days because I've been busy finishing that crochet sweater and doing the last 5 of that colour because I wanted to finish it. So yesterday and this morning I did from like there. You can see that stitch pattern? If I hold it like that, can you see it against the white background? I'm a little bit nervous about this dangly stitch marker. I'm a bit worried it's going to get tangled up in the yarn. But we'll pop it on. I might have to change it for a plain bold marker later. But it's just, if you're worried about progress you're making, if you feel you're not making progress, put a marker in at the start of your knitting for a day and see how much you do. Sometimes if you haven't done a lot, it can feel a bit demoralizing, but on the days where you get more done, because sometimes you get, especially if you're doing a lot of like garter stitch, stocking stitch, more kind of plain patterns, sometimes you spend a whole day working on it and you feel like it's not going any longer. So if you put a marker in, it kind of spurs you on and you can see, oh, I've done this much today. Probably not that much. Other times you look at it and you think, oh, I've only done like 4 rounds today, no wonder I'm not getting this finished. Then you need to know that if you want to finish it, you need to put a bit more effort in or find more time to knit. That is all I've been working on this week. I do also have a new magazine design out this week in Knitting Magazine, issue 272. It's out on the day I filmed this, so the day before this goes live. I have got a video which I'll hopefully get out on Tuesday talking about this design. It's a project that I worked on when I was in Italy. So normally I wouldn't take a deadline project on holiday with me, but I just thought it would be too much pressure to try and finish it when I got back from Italy. So I took it with me and I was amazed I managed to fit it in because Simon and I shared a carry-on suitcase and then we took a large backpack each. So I managed to put all my yarn for this project in my backpack. I used Blacker Yarn's Samite DK. So it was slightly bigger, thicker yarn, so it took up more space in my suitcase. I left it in the skeins because it squishes down more and wound it. And I only worked on it when we were in our Airbnb because it is quite warm to knit with an all-in-one DK yarn. It is a, I'm just actually flicking through. I just downloaded an issue of Knitting Magazine. If you're not in the UK or if you prefer digital versions, it is available through Pocket Mags. And because I filmed a bit before I sent it off to the magazine, I filmed a bit about the sample. Then normally when the magazine comes out, I'll film a bit showing what the magazine looks like and what the model photos looks like. But obviously I won't be home for nearly 2 weeks and I want this video to go out as soon as possible after the magazine comes out. So I actually paid for the Pocket Mag version. So after this, I'm going to try and film this video quickly. But I'll show you what it looks like. I'll pop the picture up on the screen as well because I don't know how easy it is to see here. But it is an all-in-one cable sweater, slightly loose fitting, all over cables with pole stitches in between. It's knitted top down with a European shoulder, so short row shaping across the back. And I really enjoyed it. And I loved using yarn from Blackie Yarns because they are based in Launceston in Cornwall. They have their own mill, natural fibre company. They are based in Launceston in Cornwall, which is a neighbouring town to where I live. It's probably about 20 to 30 minutes from where I live, depending on how many tractors you get stuck behind because the roads are very narrow. Right, that's it for today. I managed to keep it under half an hour again, which is very good. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing. Helps me a lot. Like it, click the hype button if you have it, comment, share, all that kind of stuff. Helps me a lot. Really, really appreciate it. It's been a boost in subscribers this week, so thank you very much, probably because of my overconsumption in crafting videos, because that seems to be quite popular, so go and check that out if you haven't already. But anything you do to interact with the video helps it get seen, so I really, really appreciate it. Go and check out my workshops this autumn at Black Sheep Wools, Yarndale. I'm not exhibiting at Yarndale this year, and Knit and Stitch Show in London and Harrogate. Very busy autumn when I get back, and there's another trip to Norway in between all of that as well. So go and check all that out, and I'll link everything below. Also, don't forget you can still get 15% off my Continental Knitting online course until the end of the month. That's the last of my August birthday month offers. My birthday was earlier this week, so I'm now 57. So do go and check that out. The discount code will be on the screen, and it will all be linked below. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.